Assalamu alaikum. Ngoya. Now this over.
Rashid grew up in Ghana, a republic in central Western Africa with its capital in Accra. Politically stable, with plenty of natural resources, Ghana is one of the community of developing countries. As is the case with a number of countries in this region, it has to cope with serious economic and healthcare problems. A brain drain particularly affects healthcare, as many graduates of the country's medical schools leave Ghana. Fortunately, some do return.
We have responsibility to come back home and help, despite all the odds, and stay and help our own people. Instead of enjoying American-style life, British life, or German life, or whatever, if they come home, initially it will be difficult, but gradually they'll get used to it and they help.
With high unemployment and a foreign debt of nearly $70 billion, Ghana is bound to receive large foreign humanitarian, financial and logistical aid from a number of international organisations, such as the WHO, the Global Fund, UNICEF and the European Union.
Our support in the health sector, under the AIDS EDF, we were providing some direct project support in the health sector, but we have decided to shift from project approach to general budget support, which means that we are providing funds to the government, to the Ministry of Finance, to support the budget. That budget includes, of course, the health sector.
The European Union is the second biggest donor after the US government to the healthcare sector in Ghana. Another important organisation that deals with healthcare issues is UNICEF, present in Ghana for over 25 years. This organisation employs educated people who are extremely engaged and understand the problems of the local population where they work and who speak the local language. Rashid meets this definition perfectly.
We have Rashid Abdullahi, who just joined us recently as our program officer for health and nutrition program. He joined UNICEF through an advertisement which UNICEF put forward in major newspapers. He had all the qualifications needed for the job, which is a first and a master's degree. And he also has the required previous experience, which is, it was a minimum of 5 years. And he had all that. And through the interview, he performed very well compared to other candidates.
What I do specifically is to work with the Ghana Health Service, that is the Ministry of Health. And then we give technical support to the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, to implement their own activities.
The UNICEF field office in Tamale is particularly important for such tasks because the northern regions of Ghana are those most threatened by AIDS and HIV, malaria, malnutrition and the guinea worm. The infant mortality rate in northern Ghana is 5 times higher than in the south, and that of children under 5 is 3 times higher. Even though Rashid has received a good education and is highly skilled, he still has to face an enormous challenge.
I'm really very excited to join the UNICEF team. I know there is high expectation from me, and then I'm really looking forward to meet these expectations, and I'm really very happy to be with UNICEF.
Rashid grew up in a poor village, one of many in northern Ghana. Nevertheless, he keeps climbing the educational ladder and obtains a Bachelor of Science in Community Nutrition at the University for Development Studies in Tamale. As one of very few Africans, he goes on to study in Europe, and following graduation, despite the trend to look for a job there, he decides to come back. Tamale, the capital of northern Ghana. The inhabitants are mainly traders and unemployment is extremely high. This city of 300,000 people lies in the driest region in the entire country. At the same time, it is a religious and cultural melting pot.
It's a kind of a crossroads of many cultures, many ethnic groups, many languages. As a matter of fact, in the northern region alone, we have about 30 to 35 ethnic groups, different cultural groups living side by side. It means that we have over 30 languages being present here.
The Dagomba are the largest ethnic group. They speak the Mole Dagbane language, which is Rashid's mother tongue. Another important problem in this region is education. We have a lot of brilliant children over here, but because of financial problems, many only finish a basic level of schooling. Most that do complete their education don't get jobs afterwards, so children's fathers are reluctant to pay for this. Rashid has always been enthusiastic about learning. No doubt he was lucky to have had good teachers who motivated him to carry on with his education.
My first day in school, I still can remember very well. I was asked to spell Accra, which is the capital of Ghana, the capital city of Ghana. And it was very common for some of the few brilliant students in the school at the lower primary, even far back in the Arabic school. So I just said ACCRA. And then they asked me to spell my name and my father's name, which I spelled very well. And they asked me another question, a couple of questions, and I was able to give right answers. And then they said, okay, we think we should put you in class 2 and not class 1. So I was sent to class 2.
Equally important was the support offered to him by his family, who, despite the sacrifices they had to make, supported him and always believed he would succeed.
My mother was very, very, very supportive, because each time I closed from school and I went home, I go straight into my mother's room, and then I find something in a covered bowl, I open it, it is food for me. So I never suffered hunger.
He came to Ghana school. From all that time, he was scoring. First, second. He was a brilliant son, so I'm proud of him.
While Rashid passed his exams at different schools, his friends worked on the farms. He continued his education despite the ethnic conflicts in northern Ghana in the 1990s.
I came to the city, Tamale, to attend high school, Ghana Secondary School, where I pursue a program in general science. Then from there, I proceeded to the University for Development Studies, also here in Tamale. I was in the School of Medicine and Health Sciences, and I studied nutrition to help solve the malnutrition problems of our community here.
Having very limited opportunities to maintain contact with the outside world, as he was then working as a district nutrition officer with no internet access, he tried very hard and successfully applied for and completed the Erasmus Mundus Tropical Medicine European Master of Science program in international health. Still, the reality back home in Ghana proved to be harsh, but Rashid is not one to give up easily.
This is a very serious situation. It's a serious situation because from my own experience, when I graduated, and I rushed to come home to Ghana, thinking that when I come, I would go back to where I was working before, and that was the Ghana Health Service, the Ministry of Health. I went there. My director said, no, this time they have had somebody else. And now I've had a higher degree. For that matter, I have to look somewhere. So I went to the national headquarters of the Ghana Health Service. I used to work with them also. When I was at the district, I was coordinating with them. This way I was useful. So they kept me in the office working. But then I wasn't being paid, and I was there doing like an internship, also thinking that they will absorb me into the system as a staff. They will employ me. But then I wasn't given that opportunity. So later on, I just realized that I was being frustrated. So I got out, I stopped the internship, and I started looking for a job for up to 8 good months. I wasn't getting get any employment from me.
He is an ambitious, hard-working and cheerful man, and these traits help him achieve his goals. Although he could have stayed in Europe, his place is here in Ghana, where well-educated people who believe in what they do are most needed.
So this is my new house, new apartment I just rented. I have the kitchen here. Then I also have my 2 bedrooms here. This is my own bedroom, the master bedroom. Then I also have another bedroom here for the guests. Then I have the toilet and the bath here. And now I need to just finish it, and then I can move in here to start a new life, new job with UNICEF, and then new apartment. I also have in mind to marry very soon. So I'm moving here with my wife and start a very decent life.